My boyfriend argued with everything I said, until I agreed with him about breaking up. So my boyfriend Jake literally cannot let me finish a single sentence without correcting me, arguing with me, or explaining why I'm wrong. And yesterday, I finally turned it around on him. This man would argue with me if I said the sky was blue. He'd say actually it's more of a cyan, and launch into a lecture about light wavelengths. I'd say I'm hungry, he'd say no. You're not, you just ate 3 hours ago. You're probably just thirsty. I'd say I liked a movie. He'd explain why it was terrible. And I just didn't understand cinema. Every opinion, every feeling, every thought I had was apparently wrong and needed correction. The most annoying part was, he phrased it like he was helping me be smarter. He'd start with actually or well technically. Or let me explain why that's not quite right. I once said my head hurt and he goes, it's probably not a headache. You're likely experiencing tension from poor posture. Like he was inside my skull. He argued about the dumbest things too. I said I saw 12 birds on the wire. He made me go back and count them to prove there were only 11. I said the restaurant was 5 minutes away. He pulled up Google Maps to show it was 7. I said my mom called twice. He checked my phone log to point out she called 3 times. It was exhausting. I started not talking just to avoid the corrections. But even silence wasn't safe, because then he'd argue about why I was quiet. Last week I tested him and said something factual, that the capital of France is Paris. And he goes, well actually it depends what you mean by capital. And went on for 10 minutes. You couldn't even let me have Paris. The breaking point was building for weeks. I kept track 73 corrections in 1 week. 73 times he needed to explain why I was wrong. I wrote them all down in my phone. Then yesterday we're at his friend's birthday party. And I'm telling a story about my coworker. I said she was about 30. And Jake immediately goes, actually she's 32. I looked her up on LinkedIn. His friend Tom goes, dude, why do you know her exact age? Jake starts arguing with Tom about how it's not weird to be accurate. I saw my opening. I said, you know what, Jake? You're absolutely right about everything. You're right that I'm too emotional. You're right I don't understand movies. You're right I can't count birds. You're right I don't know when I'm hungry. And you're especially right when you said, we're not compatible. He stops and goes, wait, I never said that. I pulled out my phone and read my notes. Tuesday, 8:47 p.m. You said we're not compatible. Wednesday, 2:15 p.m. You said we're not compatible. Thursday, 6:30 p.m. You said we're not compatible. The whole party went silent. Jake starts arguing those were out of context. I said, oh, so now you want to argue about your own words? Cool. Let me read the other 70 corrections. Number 1, Monday morning. You said my coffee order was wrong. Number 2, Monday afternoon. You said my favorite color isn't purple, it's lavender. He tries to interrupt saying this is ridiculous. I said what's embarrassing is dating someone who thinks his girlfriend is wrong about literally everything, including her own favorite color. You know what you're right about though? We're not compatible. I'm breaking up with you. He immediately starts arguing that I can't break up with him at his friend's party. I said, oh, now you want to discuss something instead of just telling me I'm wrong. Too late. I'm sure you'll find someone else to correct. Maybe someone who doesn't know what color they like. Or when they're hungry. Tom actually started clapping and goes, finally someone shut him up. He does this to everyone. Jake tried to follow me out, still arguing that I was overreacting. I said, you're right. It was a mistake dating you. See, I can admit when I'm wrong. Can you?